We're closing the book on what has to be the most brutally efficient campaign we have ever seen in Formula One.
Oh, absolutely.
A year that wasn't just about winning a championship, it was about perfecting an image, enhancing Max Verstappen to, like, stellar dimensions.
Right. And that's the central paradox here, isn't it? Because on one side, you've got Max, who is just colossal.
Colossal is the
He
word.
took the last pole, the last victory, top driver across the board, untouchable. But while the driver is hitting these, dizzying heights, the team supporting him, Red Bull Racing, is, from everything we hear, facing a monumental crisis.
It's so fascinating because our sources highlight that Max was actually more content this year than last year.
Yeah.
This wasn't about the trophy. This was about recognition, about image perfection. It was about shutting down every single critic for good.
It really shifted, from a championship hunt to just a flawless execution, the psychological war. And if you want proof, just look at that final qualifying session.
Well, that anecdote is incredible.
He's on pole after the first lap. No pressure. He's got it. But then, just to remove any doubt, any tiny possibility that someone could say he needed a tow, a slipstream,
Yeah.
he goes out and does a second lap.
Yeah, sure.
Even faster. He secured pole twice.
Like a mic drop moment.
It's more than that. It's a statement. It's cold-blooded.
Yeah.
He was showing the entire paddock that his speed is his own. It's not about circumstances. He wasn't just beating the clock. He was beating the entire narrative.
Okay, let's unpack this drive for absolute perfection, because he's striving to be a robot, not even a pilot anymore, just pure efficiency.
A machine.
A machine. But if you look at the whole year, there is one clear stain, isn't there? One moment that just blemishes the record.
It's undeniable. And it's the only time the old Max really peeked through the armor.
The incident in Barcelona.
Exactly. He lost, 8 or 9 points in what our sources call the silliness with George Russell. Just a totally unnecessary bit of aggression.
8 or 9 points is nothing in the grand scheme of his victory. So why does it matter? Why are we even talking about it?
Because it reminds us of the Verstappen of the past. The bad modes.
The high-risk moves.
Yeah, the aggressive, less controlled driver you'd see when he was under pressure. But this season, he was never against the ropes. He was the hunter, not the victim.
So Barcelona is crucial because it shows that wiring is still there.
It's still there. Exactly. It's the ghost of the old Max, just reminding everyone, including himself, that he's human. He made an avoidable error under zero pressure. And, you could argue that's actually a good thing.
I totally agree. If he were a perfect robot, the sport would be boring for us, and more importantly, it'd be boring for him.
Of course.
That stain means he still has things to learn, which is the fuel that keeps him hunting, right?
Absolutely. You need that little crack in the armor to keep the hunger alive, but that small crack in his narrative is nothing compared to the giant fissure opening up at Red Bull.
And we have to talk about that, the brutal reality for the team, because Max's dominance is masking a monumental failure.
Right. And just so everyone knows, this segment is part of our news coverage of recent F1 events.
So lay it out. What is the internal assessment of the team's year outside of car number 1?
The assessment is unequivocal. From an internal standpoint, Red Bull's season is a disaster.
A disaster.
It's embarrassing. You can't look at those results and call it a total victory when all the success is concentrated in one place. It hides these deep systemic flaws.
Let's hit that damning statistic, because this is the number that proves it all.
The number is jaw-dropping. Max Verstappen secured 94% of Red Bull's total points this season.
94%.
Which means the other drivers contributed a mere 6%. 6.
So is the car just so specifically designed for Max that no one else can drive it? Is that the problem? Or is it a bigger failure?
It's a bigger failure. Because the job of an elite team isn't just to build a fast car, it's to build a fast package. This statistic proves that the pilot triumphs, but the team has failed. They have failed to provide 2 competitive cars.
Which makes them incredibly vulnerable. So if the team is failing, where does Max go? Let's talk about his leverage, because he holds the key to the entire driver market, the detonator for the whole castle of cards.
He's the linchpin, the single most valuable asset in the sport. He has a long-term contract, sure, but we have to assume he has the clauses he needs to climb the watchtower next year.
Climb the watchtower.
It's a great analogy, right? He gets to survey the whole landscape. He can look out, see who's making gains, which engine is looking good, and just choose his destination if Red Bull can't fix their issues.
And if he decides to move, the impact is explosive. Name the teams that would throw their doors wide open.
Oh, every single rival. Aston Martin would liquidate assets to get him.
Hmm.
Mercedes would move mountains.
Even after everything.
Without a doubt. And here's the most aggressive claim. McLaren, even with their fantastic driver pairing, would probably sacrifice Piastri to make room for him.
Wow.
Max can pick his destination. And that choice sends shockwaves through every other contract on the grid.
So Red Bull has a grace period, an ultimatum. How long do they have?
1 year. The coming season is a gift for Max. A grace period to convince him, to give him a car that works, and show him a clear path forward. If he sees no future there by 2027,
he's gone.
The source is clear. He will fly, and that whole castle of cards just collapses into chaos.
And if you're watching this on YouTube, welcome to DRS Zone. Don't forget to subscribe for more F1 content.
And this all comes back to a fundamental question, doesn't it? The necessity of aggression in a champion.
Right. Can you be a good guy and still win in this sport? We see drivers like LANDO Norris who are, well, they're loved for their character.
And you can be a champion, for sure, but only if you have a notably faster car.
Ah, so it's about the equipment.
Lando can win races, absolutely, but to be a super champion, to dominate when things are equal, you have to be ruthless.
You're talking about mental warfare.
It's entirely mental. The greats, Senna, Schumacher, Alonso, they use every single moment on and off track to mine the weakest part of their rivals, their heads.
Constant attack.
It is a constant attack on their confidence. And Max is relentless. He shows no fissures, no cracks. That hard, undoubted mentality is what wins when the cars are close.
And this structural issue at Red Bull, it's not just about the drivers. It's about a literal end of an era for them, isn't it?
The end of the cycle smell is everywhere. It's hitting them from 3 directions. First, the rules are changing drastically. The ground effect era, which they perfected, is over.
They have to start from scratch.
From scratch, which makes their personnel crisis even worse. Because the second direction is the loss of foundational figures. We're hearing credible reports that JP, Max's engineer, might be stepping down from the trackside role.
That would be a massive blow.
Huge. And then you have Helmut Marko dropping serious hints about retirement.
So the foundation is crumbling just as the technology is being completely revolutionized.
It's a perfect storm. They have to reinvent themselves, find new gray matter, new engineers, new leaders, to start a new project from a new perspective. If they don't, they risk a slump that could, force them to sell the team entirely.
We are watching the forced reinvention of a dominant empire. Red Bull now has to prove to the guy who scored 94% of their points that they're still worth it.
And that's the sum of it. Max gave them time, but the deadline is looming for 2026, 2027. This isn't just a technical challenge. It's a leadership crisis.
So we'll leave you with the ultimate question. Will Red Bull find the new talent and leadership to keep Max? Or will that castle of cards start to fall, triggering the most chaotic driver market we have ever seen?
The fallout would define the rest of the decade. It's that big.
Make sure you follow DRS Zone for all the latest analysis.
Find us on TikTok, Instagram, and YouTube. We'll see you for the next deep dive.